Gourmet Guitars, the best Luthiers DVD series. From guitar enthusiasts for guitar enthusiasts.
When people buy a vintage instrument, I think they're looking for some authenticity. We're chasing a dream, but that's what guitar playing and building is about on some level.
The thing that I most like about Michael is I trust him with I trust him with all my guitars. And, you know, I have old vintage guitars and nothing bad happens. And that's a big deal, you know, it's finding somebody you could trust.
This is an old telly that I've got. I got this in the early 70s working in a music store in Houston. It's an early 60s body and neck, but it's been kind of bastardized. And unfortunately, working in music stores in the 70s, I went through all the bad phases of add-on gear, aftermarket gear. But Michael finally put it back together for me in a really cool way. It's finally found its happy spot.
I wanted an SG, and it was hideous. I actually haven't heard it yet, but it had like crappy frets in it and bad pickups, and it seemed like it was kind of unplayable. And Michael's doing his usual working magic. It had like just a wraparound on it, and we put Michael put on the stop tail with the Tune-o-matic and good humbuckers, and I know it's going to sound good. He's yet to fail me.
It's another really good instrument that he kind of saved for me that people just love. Everybody that plays this guitar wants to buy it from me.
There was this one acoustic, an old, well, there's these two old acoustics. Epiphone archtop from the 40s and a 60s Gibson 12-string, where they couldn't be any more taken apart. Back off, top off, neck off, completely in all their component pieces. And they just came out amazing. He just transformed them.
So not only is Michael a great luthier and guitar builder, but I send all my clients to him when they're having guitar problems, and every one of them falls in love with his work.
Yeah, I just really trust him.
I love old guitars, not because of some fetish, but because they usually have some sign of wear. They have a history. Every now and then I get, you know, I do a lot of repairs, so I get in an old Les Paul or something, and it's beat up and it has scratches and sometimes cracks. And that instrument exemplifies the music in a physical way. It shows what has happened with it. It is kind of, it has a record of a life, of energy put into it, of energy coming out of it. And what I see with new guitars, for instance, is they don't age very well. The gloss surface chips, and then it's just kind of ratty. It doesn't attain that kind of depth. And that's one of the aspects. I'm attracted to things that have been used, sometimes things that have been discarded. To me, they embody a history, a life, and they take with them the experience of having been used and of having been of use. We are in an electronics junkyard. They have everything from old radios, electronic equipment, to airplane parts, all sorts of gauges, tubes, knobs, sprockets. I like to come here to find stuff for my guitars. Some of this stuff is, or was when it was made, extremely expensive. There's aircraft prototype stuff here, machined from all sorts of aluminum, titanium, and things like that. It ends up here after, you know, barely having been used, it looks like sometimes. What also intrigues me is the textures and colors and the shapes, the machining that goes into this. I mean, this is cutting edge stuff, the best stuff that can be made by man, and here it ends up in a junkyard. Making resin top guitars has allowed me to include that in the work and to use these elements to really try and create something that will stand the test of time. The totem guitars are not designed as relics as such, although some of the impulse is the same because I look for old stuff, for stuff that has some kind of authentic vibe to it, but they are designed to age well. When I lacquer a body, for instance, I do it in such a way that it will show signs of use quickly, probably, if you don't keep it in pristine condition, but they will be good signs of use. To me, an old Les Paul that's been, you know, dragged through the mud, if you want, is just as beautiful as it was when it was new, maybe more so. It has a history. It has a density on an experiential level that, you know, a new guitar doesn't have. I get these people, they freak out because there's a little dent in their high gloss lacquer, and it basically kills everything. You know, it's like your first dent in a new car. One of the reasons I like places like this is that the things here, having been discarded, are somehow free from their first function. They carry a certain amount of history with them that shows up, marks of use, oxidation, things like that. And now they're free to be used in some other way.
Gourmet Guitars, the best Luthiers DVD series. From guitar enthusiasts for guitar enthusiasts.